Welcome to the AI Riff, where we cut through the noise and break down the top AI stories of the week with real talk and real relevance. No hype, no fluff, just a vendor-agnostic take on what's actually shaping your world today. Whether you're in tech, lending, or just trying to make sense of the headlines, we're here to separate the wheat from the chaff and the facts from fiction. Now let's get started with your hosts, Mario Di Benedetto, Rob Katz, Ruth Lee, and me, Kyle Myers. We hope you enjoy this episode of the AI Riff.
We're 30-something, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, but you seem to be getting grouchy in your 32nd year. Yeah,
32nd, 33rd?
This is
well, we were so
32, I
positive.
think.
We were so positive in our first part of our 30s, and now we're hitting the mid 30s, and we're going to get a little, what could go wrong in our mid 30s? I don't know.
It's true. It's true. So for those that are following along, this is actually the third part of an episode we started talking about some of the things that are possible potentially in 2026 with AI. We started this conversation piggybacking off of something that we had read from Sharon Zhao, who was a corporate vice president at AMD, founder and CEO of Lamini, and an adjunct professor at Stanford. And her really base premise was to see AI stop being one-to-one and start being something that's more collaborative. So whether you think of it as a group chat or a group conversation out loud or whatever, that's kind of what we've been playing with so far. And it's been a lot of fun. I will say those two episodes, we came up with some great ideas. I think Kyle's was patenting them as we were doing our episode.
I've already got the URLs purchased, and I've started down
squatting
that
on the URLs and everything, which is awesome, right? Because I know Kyle will share with me when he makes $1 billion.
Of course.
But I think it's probably worth starting to ask the question, like these collaborative bots that are, I think we figured out that they were going to mitigate all of the arguments. They were going to make sure everything ran perfectly on time and everybody always delivered on time, on schedule, perfect quality. Like, it sounds awesome. Like, what could possibly go wrong with this concept?
Well, okay. You were first with your hand up. Go ahead.
Be first.
Unlicensed advice and activity at an industrial scale. How about that?
Okay.
We could program for that, though. We could make sure it doesn't say that, right? Can't you? I guess.
Does it say, I could tell you the answer to that, but I'm not licensed, so I won't.
But I'm not licensed software, so I can't tell you anything about fees or rates or, market intel or whatever. I mean, there's so many ways that
Can we
just put the word allegedly in there, and the bot goes, allegedly, you can do this.
Okay, but if I can train an AI to pass the exams, can it get licensed?
Oh, that's like who gets the ticket in the Waymo if the Waymo makes a error.
So what else could possibly go wrong? One small thing, it could be a licensed conversation.
We actually touched on it in the last episode briefly. It could be the most hated entity in an organization. And I will say that, look, one of the huge challenges around AI is the impact on humans, and the fact that more and more studies come out that the more you use AI, the stupider you are because you're not doing the thinking yourself and you're passing on information without really internalizing it. We've talked about that. Thanks, Mario. We've talked about that in other episodes and everything like that. Imagine being an employee at a lender shop. In every meeting you go to, there's this AI that is interruptive, trying to change the tone, holding me accountable. I mean, F you, bot, and that the animosity and the negativity that could drive into the humanistic side of somebody doing work, where you have a bot that is unyielding. And we talked about project managers, people get away with stuff. Well, they do because people are human, and you got to know that. And so I think that could be a huge negative, the culture, the atmosphere, the turnover. Right.
You've got a great point, Rob, because don't you remember probably about 10 or maybe even 15 years ago, there was an app that could boot up whenever you boot up, and it would log all the websites you went to, all the places you did, how much time you spent on them, and then it would send a report at the end of the day to the management. Well, a bot could do the same thing, could just be on, listening to your conversations, listening to your team's calls, looking at everything that you're doing. And then at the end of the day, it wouldn't report to management. It would report to you and go, what were you doing today? Like, what was that? That would be awesome.
So let's, we talked earlier about the idea that, having it as this kind of, listening in and paying attention. And, as many of us have been executives, I mean, that discovery would be a whole different level of discovery, because it would go from just really executive level. It goes everywhere. It goes right down into every single thing, every piece of staff that knew a practice was risky. And, maybe they were looking at ways to, count income or to, I think that everyone naturally wants, because we are business people, we want to make loans, right? And so we're never looking to break the rules. I mean, I was never looking to, but I sure wanted to toe the line or get as close for my borrower as I possibly could. And, discovery could be a really ugly part of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry.
Wow, Ruth Downer here.
I know.
But we did say we were going to get a little negative, so we got to look at the flip sides of these positives that are coming, because especially in any sales organization, especially mortgage, when you're wrapped around compliance, heavy in compliance, and A-type personality salespeople, it's a fine line. I mean, it is. You're going to have such a nuanced bot. I think if they get it right, someone's going to make a lot of money off of that bot, because that's going to be a really, really, really extensively trained bot to be able to be compliant, be salesy, be helpful, be charming, be witty. It's going to be incredible, but it's not here today. It's not going to be here in 2026.
Well,
go ahead, Margaret.
No, go ahead.
I say we're trying to focus on what could go wrong with this thing. One of the ideas that was thrown out in an earlier episode was, the situation's going on with this loan. Quick, let's go get Mary. She knows how to solve it. So the context switching interruptions to a person could be outrageous. Like a human again would be able to go, I'm not going to go bug her right now. This can wait until I see her in an hour. But this, like, interrupt.
Yeah.
Then people are going to find the mute, and then it's not going to work anymore, and it's going to fall apart.
That's exactly where I was going to go. I was going to the other side
Mary's
of that.
Not available to the end of next week.
Well, but what do we know about how people work? If you put barriers to whatever barrier is defined as, if you put a barrier in somebody's way, they're going to find a way around it, right?
Chaos theory.
If you force me to use your CRM, I'm going to keep everything on my phone. My personal phone, and I'm only going to make phone calls from, they're going to go around it. And so you're right. It's really our little nerdvana where it's always there and it's always helpful and people love it. No, people are going to hate it and they're going to avoid it. And some people will love it because they'll just say it makes my life easier, but people will work around it. And now you've defeated the entire process.
You know what you just described, the people that work as loan officers for a bank, and not all, but much of the big banks, where they just get the business walking in the door and they accept the lower pay. They accept I got to do it this way. I don't do it. I stay in the box. Versus the ones that work at the independent mortgage bankers are the ones that are more sales and outgoing and get more sales and get a lot of volume. I'm not saying that people at big banks don't make a lot of volume. There are some, but I would say it's more than not are in the independent mortgage banking, brokers, those kind of things. They're very successful salespeople. So what you're pointing at is that the negative to adding these overlying bots that sit over you is like a big brother, and you could really hamper productivity, innovation, sales drive. And it could make them kind of like, I feel like I'm working at a bank. Why don't I just go work for a bank? Why don't I just quit?
Can we
Well, and you
take
think
back the
about
last 2 episodes?
Yeah.
something that you said, Mario, and then Kyle, when you said it again, I mean, it just makes me think of, one of the challenges that I think everybody always has is their system of record and the documentation and the ability to document every file, and kind of leaning on this bot that, is the eye in the sky, that, to assume that it's going to document things. And would it create some real challenges with your system of record and maintaining that system of record for each unique file rather than an aggregate of files?
Oh my gosh. Just think about this. What if the CFPB, if it survives, what if it had a bot that it made every mortgage banker have, and whenever there was a violation, it just reported it directly to the CFPB as soon as it happened?
Well, I'd sign right up for that.
As a consumer, maybe I would love to work with a lender that abided by that.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
maybe as a consumer, I bring him with me.
But
Right? Instead of bringing like the paralegal financial, my cousin is a financial advisor and a realtor, I bring my bot with me so that it can, vet whether or not what you're telling me is A, realistic, B, are you really in the market? I mean, there's some interesting things there that could be consumer facing where they bring their own darn bot.
like, I bring my uncle. Hey, my uncle knows everything about lending. He comes with me everywhere. I got my bot. That'd be cool. I don't know. I mean, if I were a consumer and I'm going into
too many
something,
closings where they're like, my cousin's a paralegal, we're bringing them. I'm like,
no, you know what I want? I want a bot when I go into a car dealership after they just looked at my car, and I could have the bot talk to the guy and say, no, I don't need that oil change at this time. I don't need those things changed out. I don't need this. That's what I want, because I don't know anything about. My sons know a lot about engines. I don't. I don't know anything about them. I know they cost money. That's all I know.
but it would be an interesting, I mean, to have like the consumer advocate bot.
There it is. There it is. Write it down, Rob. Write it down.
Going back to the
You've got
CFPB, like, what if the CFPB just created a universal consumer advocate bot?
Well, they kind of tried to do that with regulation. And this country tends to be like, laws are applicable as long as you are in control of your own free will to use the laws or not, or to abuse the law or not, or to follow the law or not. They don't go into like somebody that's controlling you to say that would be illegal. If you do that right now, I'm going to have to arrest you. Like that'd be having that narc brother-in-law that's next to you going, what are you doing, man?
Well, but I was thinking of it more, and this is the kind of way I heard Ruth say it, more of it sits there and it listens with me, and it can help me answer. Like, I have no idea what that person just said. Like, they were talking about this option to do an adjustable rate, and I don't even know what that means. And like it can really coach you through, like, in the way that you would hope that a loan officer might. Maybe they don't have the time, maybe they don't have the patience, maybe they don't have the desire, right? You're a 30-year fixed, I'm putting you in and get out of here. Right?
I
This
knew
guy
it. Mario
says
couldn't
that-
go negative. He couldn't go negative. He
Or
went
this
positive.
guy has said that I really don't have to live in the property, even though I'm
Oh,
calling
yeah.
it a second home.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that true?
Whereas I go,
Great
I didn't hear
example.
that. I didn't hear
Because
that.
I've
But
had
then the
more
bot
than
goes,
one of
I
those
heard it.
conversations, and and I'm literally up against a liar.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yeah, you kind of sign a piece of paper that says that you're going to have sold in specific use. And
Yeah.
they're like, no. I talked to somebody at the bank and they said that I wouldn't. I'm like, are you sure? And the reality is that you don't even know if that's what they really said, because sometimes people just hear what they want to hear. And it's an interesting thought anyway. But, regardless, kind of going down the idea of having a collaborative chat bot, I think that, there's a whole lot of opportunity and there's a whole lot of danger. And it'll be interesting to see what 2026 unfolds, especially as, I mean, things like Copilot, which, I think that it's, just about as useful as Windows Explorer for searching anything. I mean, it's I mean, groovy. It doesn't really do much. Not yet. I imagine it will eventually, but that means that I have my assistant going back and putting metadata on everything that I've ever made.
Can you imagine though, we talked about, this is all about the collaborative AI bot, something that's responding in real time, whether it's through a Slack-like channel or through a phone conversation, a Teams call, whatever. Can you imagine if you're sitting in front of it, you're a salesperson, and this person says, yeah, I got my collaboration bot here. You're on with like 70 other people and a few bots, and they're giving you advice to the loan officer, and it says, no, that rate shouldn't be that high. It should be at this. And you're really good. I mean, it's like they got this counselors in their pocket, and they're showing it to the loan officer, and the loan officer's like, how do I even respond to this? Like sometimes decisions by community or collaboration can be some of the worst decisions ever. And I don't know. I'm just looking at it from that. Collaboration is good when you need the ideas, but when you don't want the ideas, it's like, yeah, okay.
It's kind of like saying, like, well, what is your ultimate goal? And if you ask somebody that who doesn't even know what the possibilities are, maybe they don't know what their goals should be, right? Like we can talk about mortgage, and we can talk about somebody wanting low down payment, like low monthly payments or whatever. Like you can go through all the different angles that you can go through. And somebody, first time home buyer, might not even know how to answer that question. So how do you know what the right answer is for them? Right.
Well, and have they been influenced into what their answer is? I mean,
That
because
too.
it's very easy to influence people into, you don't really care about the price and the rate. You really care about the payment. Do
Yeah.
you? I mean,
Yeah.
and it just depends. I mean, is that really your financial goal? Maybe cash flow is not your problem.
Right.
Yep.
So nothing could go wrong. That's what we decided.
Yeah.
Nothing bad is going to happen.
I
with
think that we
collaborative
need
AI.
Roland here. We need to bring Roland in so that he can monitor our conversations, and especially when it gets mean.
Yeah, do you think
I-
he might kick us off this podcast if we do that?
Well,
I'm afraid I might be the weak
I've
link.
been the AI overlord the whole time, and I've recorded everything. So, well, actually, we did record everything. So that is true. But have we kicked this collaboration thing to a finishing
The horse
point
is
where
dead.
I think we have, but it's
Don't
been a
want to be
fun way to
dead
kick off the
horses.
year.
I think it's just tired. It needs to go in put the blanket on it, put it in the barn. Let it be done for
2026
the
is
day.
so last year.
I just want to say to you guys how much I have enjoyed 2025 with you, and really looking forward to more in 2026.
Yeah, likewise.
I agree. I've enjoyed myself too. No, it's like, but thank you, Ruth. You've been a blessing to this podcast, to all of us, your stories, your fun that you're having, Rob's fun that he's having. Mario goes to foreign countries. I don't go anywhere. So I'm living vicariously through all of you. So between New Zealand, Italy, was it? No. Yeah. Italy, the Caribbean, and other places unknown. I'm going to say I'm
You're in
boring.
California.
Yeah. I know.
Didn't you sell a house, buy a house, move, working in a different, like,
You're so transactional, Rob.
On that note,
Yeah. On that note, I'm going to say I'm Kyle Myers.
I'm Rob Katz.
I'm Ruth Lee.
and I'm still Mario De Benedetto.
And this has been the AI Riff.
Wires hum like whispers in the deep dark night. Shadows dancing strange under neon light. Digits spinning fast like a gambler's hand. The clock chimes change, it's the new command. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear. A melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion. A tide of cold like the endless ocean. Binary prophets riding fading streams. Data flows to the beat of change we sing. Every click and hum a key